Alright guys, so I've already done my top worst of the year video. I've got the shit done and out of the way. Now we're up to the top 10 of the year, and I'm just going to get straight into it. Actually, first I do want to explain that this is all my opinion, okay? So if you see movies on the honorable mentions list or the top 10 list itself that weren't quite as good as everyone else said they were, then it's just because I personally love it. And I know there's going to be, just like last year, that there's going to be some movies on the honorable mentions list that not everyone's going to agree with. But I put them on there because even though they're not the best, and I knew they weren't going to be on the top 10, I still thoroughly enjoyed them and wanted them to at least get a mention. So without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into the honorable mentions. Tomb Raider, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Deadpool 2, Bumblebee, Aquaman, Incredibles 2, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Black Klansman, and Widows. Alright, so with all those honorable mentions done and out of the way, let's get straight into the top 10 with number 10. And that 10th film would have to be Bad Times at the El Royale. Now, this is a weird one because I actually struggled with the 10th one more than the first choice, okay? The first choice on this list was easy, okay? But the 10th one was really hard because I was going back and forth between Widows, Black Klansman, and First Man because I all really enjoyed each of those four movies, Bad Times at the El Royale and those three. But for each of those three movies, I had at least one problem. But I didn't have a single problem with Bad Times at the El Royale. Sorry, stuttering. And even though I've seen the concept of Bad Times at the El Royale in a lot of movies, the from another person's perspective thing, I just really enjoyed the movie. I wanted to learn more and more about the characters and more about the El Royale. Alright, at number 9 is A Star Is Born. So not only does this film have an amazing soundtrack, which I'm still listening to now, okay, to this day, it's got to have one of the best performances from everyone throughout the entire year. And probably, I don't know when the last time I've seen a performance this good. I really don't know. The performances were so good. Bradley Cooper is a really good a musician, in my opinion, and he surprised me with his talent in that area, and Lady Gaga surprised me in Bradley Cooper's area, being acting. She was really good in this movie. I really enjoyed the heart and the humor and the seriousness that this movie delves into, and it was just a really compelling movie. Alright, so at the 8th pick is Mission Impossible Fallout. Now, I did have a couple problems with this movie, but the more I watched it, the more I fucking enjoyed it. And even, sorry, excuse my language, but I just really love this movie. And even when I was watching the first time, it did surprise me. Even though I was having the problems that I had with it, it surprised me with how suspenseful this franchise still is and how these movies just really aren't getting any worse. They're getting better. I don't know. I like this movie, and on top of everything, it made me cry, which none of the Mission Impossible movies did. Alright, so at number 7, it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I really enjoyed this movie, but before going into it, I was a little concerned, but thankfully, I really enjoyed this movie, as I said, because of its unique animation, and I really got into the characters, even the villain. I don't know, this has got to be... There's not much else that I can say about it that I haven't already said in my review. It's just one of my favorite Spider-Man movies alongside Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming. Okay, now I haven't reviewed Spider-Man 2, but I have reviewed Homecoming, and if you've seen that review, you know that I'm obsessed with that movie. So, for me to love this movie as much as that one, you know it's damn good. Alright, so at number 6 is Creed 2. This movie did, as I said in my review, it did what a sequel should do. It delved a lot deeper into its characters and brought some characters back. I really liked how this movie made you care about the villain characters as much as the protagonists. And that's a really unique thing that I don't think any of the other Rocky movies have done. And I think this one might be the best of them all because of that. I don't know. I still don't know. Alright, so my number 5 pick is A Quiet Place. Now, oh my gosh, man. I can't believe I missed out on this in the theater. I didn't watch this at the theater. I watched it at home and when I rented it. Holy crap, I should have went to the theater and seen this. Oh my gosh, man. This is one of those movies that I would call an experience simply because of how it affects you when you're watching it. You actually, like me, I don't know about you guys, but me, when I was watching it, I was noticing the subtle noises that I was making, the noises around me. It was tense, and I actually wouldn't call it a horror movie. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. It's more like a action suspense sci-fi thriller. That's really what it is. It's not really a horror movie. At my number 4 pick is Ready Player One, another movie that I just, oh my gosh, loved and wish I would have seen in the theater. This is what I'm saying. This is what I said in my in the last video I did. I need to see more movies at the theater in a year. I need to, and I can't believe I missed out on this too. In all honesty, I don't actually know what makes me love it. Probably all the references and the Easter eggs in it. But it's just an overall fun movie and directed by Steven Spielberg, so of course it's going to be a great movie. At my number 3 pick, we're getting closer and closer to number 1, but my number 3 pick is Love, Simon. Now, this one came out of the blue for me. I didn't know this movie existed when it was in theaters. I only heard about it when I saw it on Google Play for rented it, and was amazed at how much I actually love this movie. Now, I don't relate to the homosexuality in this movie. I'm not gay. But there is still a lot to relate to in this movie, surprisingly. Whether it's Simon himself or other characters. This was just a really enjoyable movie that had a little fun mystery in there. Like, who's the boy that he's into? I don't know. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I really liked that part. It added a lot of fun to the movie. Right, so my number 2 pick is the weirdest experience that I've ever had with a movie, Hereditary. And I say that it's the weirdest experience that I've ever had with a movie because I saw it once and was able to watch it, but it disturbed me so much that I don't ever really want to see it again. And this is weird because usually when I watch a movie that affects me, I want to watch it again. I want to relive that the effect that a movie has on me, but this one affected me, I think, too much. Okay, it's a fantastic freaking movie, which is why it's at the number 2 pick of this year. But I might buy it on Blu-ray, but I'll probably only just keep it for collection's sake. I won't actually watch this. I can't watch it again. That head scene, holy shit! Nope, can't watch it. Anyway, moving on to the number 1 pick. If you haven't guessed it already, then you probably don't know me that well. It's Avengers Infinity War. Now this is what I was saying earlier. Not everyone's going to agree with the movies on my top 10 list. And this one is at number 1. So I feel like a lot of people, some might agree, some might not. I don't know. I don't really care. I fucking love this movie. I love it because it's the combination of 10 years of Marvel movies. And that's not good enough. That's not good enough to put it at number 1. But for me personally, that's why it's at number 1. But I do have better reasons for it being at number 1. One of them being that it actually makes you care about Thanos. Well, not really care about him, but you understand where he's coming from. You almost completely understand where he's coming from. You don't root for him because you know what he's doing is crazy and wrong. But you understand where he's coming from. You understand that he is actually trying to save lives in his own twisted way. Which is interesting because everyone else in the movie, as I said in my review, is trying to save lives. And they have to make sacrifices themselves. Sacrifice one life or sacrifice many lives for one. It's interesting how this movie explores that concept. And that's why it exceeded my expectations. It being a really huge movie, the biggest movie that could have come out this year, and it still exceeded my expectations. That is one movie that has to be at number 1. I don't know, it just has to be. But that's my top 10 of 2018. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and comment if you liked the video, and subscribe to my channel if you want more videos. I will see you next year. But for next year, January and February, I'm gonna have a bit of a rest. I will make videos here and there, but they're not going to be as plentiful as I have been doing this year, okay? So I'm going to go on a bit of a holiday, a bit of a break, okay? But I'm going to be back around March for Captain Marvel. So I'll see you guys in that video.